Let's get into the conversation now. The recent decision by OPEC Plus to cut oil production by more than 1.6 million barrels per day is likely to impact Nigeria's oil revenue as the prices of crude surges above $85 last week. While the production cut may result in higher oil prices due to reduced supply on the market, Nigeria's oil revenue will still be impacted by the reduction in oil production levels here. Nigeria has previously struggled to comply with OPEC production cut, which has led to low oil revenue due to vandalism and oil theft. It's worth noting that Nigeria has been exploring ways to diversify the economy away from oil and reduce its dependence on oil revenue given the volatility of the oil market and the international market. So let's make sense of this conversation now. Kevin Fineface is an energy consultant. He joins us virtually now from Abuja. Thank you for joining us and good morning. Hi, it's Abuja this morning.
Good morning. Abuja is, like we say, placid. It's calm and quiet. We're enjoying the holiday as it is, and we look forward to new opportunities that comes with the new month after the holiday.
And after the holiday, of course, business return tomorrow as usual. So happy holiday and happy Easter. Okay, so let's get talking in a moment as we look at this interesting conversation as regards the oil OPEC cut now. So talk to us about what is the expected impact of the OPEC Plus cuts on global prices and how this will affect Nigeria's oil revenue.
Well, first for Nigeria, I think it's a positive move. The higher the prices of oil, the higher the revenues that we generate. Like you can also tell recently, we've been greatly impacted as a result of our inability to meet up with the OPEC output as expected. There are so many factors contributing, but gradually we're improving. At least we're up to about 1.6 right now, if I'm not mistaken, million barrels per day. If I'm not mistaken, up to that as the record will show, and that shows that we'll be able to. And if you look at the budget benchmark for the per barrel, you notice that it was between the band of. Excuse my train of thought.
I think it's about around $75 US.
70, no, that's 75 for the benchmark locally. But now, if with last week's announcement, you notice that the market automatically, that was more like a seismic move. From 75, you're getting about $86 per barrel. That's good money. So if you look at Nigerian 65 benchmark, you're getting $20 extra. That's like extra money for the federating units and the federal government together because of that inflow of cash. If it is sustained as expected to the end of the year, Russia started with a 500,000 cut. Saudi Arabia followed suit, and all of the different countries, the OPEC Plus countries, have also had, to the extent that even Gabon had about 8,000 barrels cut. But Nigeria could not do any cut because Nigeria is already, underperforming, so cannot be part of those that will be doing their own cut to follow suit. Rather, Nigeria will be hoping that they meet up the minimum that is expected so they can make more money. And the more money revenue we make from the dollar, the better it strengthens the naira. If we go by all of this that is expected. But there's high hopes. But globally, that's what's going to happen globally. America is major dependent on the foreign oil, even though they have so much more. But for their national security sake, they depend so much on foreign imports. Now, what that would do, the higher the price of dollar, the higher the price of gas, which is probably in the US. Now, when that goes up, it goes with the type of inflation that comes with that economy that is dependent. Russia is also trying to play a game to stay afloat. If you look at how the war is going, Ukraine and Russia war is going, the European Union, America, NATO, are all working to start to see how they can stifle and strangulate Russia. But Russia is trying to survive because Russia knows that it has what the world needs generally. In fact, the West needs generally. So Russia is, utilizing that opportunity to also play a powerful strategic game. If you see how they go with the decision they made early this year by the court in order to trigger a price increase so they can make more money by selling little, they have been avoiding the price fixation that is going on with Europe, trying to impose a particular price range for them, which is wrong. It's a free market. They have the product. They should decide how the market should go, or market forces should decide. And so if they need them, so those are the factors, those geopolitics that is going on. So we will see that this trend. I know America is already complaining, has already raised, observation with the cost that is coming in. Saudi Arabia said that they needed to stabilize the market. If you have a product that is highly, in demand, you want to try as much as possible to stay afloat. And Saudi Arabia believes that it will help them. And also that aspect of non-alignment or finding a way to run away from that American hegemony. Yeah. The American dollar, it's basically taking over every other thing. And gradually, the BRICS nation also look for ways to cut off from that. We saw what happens most recently. How they've been making moves. Yeah.
Okay. Let me quickly come in with this one. Just to be clear, because some people say once the prices of crude oil, goes up in the market, at least Nigeria should be able to catch in from that. So, are we cashing it? Are we taking advantage, from these price surge that we're seeing? Because we've seen the market. The price, rose from around $80, $82 to around $85 to $86 as at last week, because there was a weekly gain in the international market as at last week. So, any hope for Nigeria with this price surge?
I wish that we have that hope, but Nigeria happens to be like the genie in the bottle. If you know what that means, you know the story of the genie is until the little boy goes to pick up the lamp to, touch a part of the lamp that releases the giants. So Nigeria is escaping giants. When the Ukraine-Russian war started, we were not prepared and we didn't benefit as much as other countries that benefited from that ongoing war. And so with this increase now, I don't know how prepared we are to meet up with the demand, because if the price has gone up to $86 per barrel, what it simply means that if we're producing 1.6 million barrels, the times that, you know what that means, are we going to sustain it? That or increase to the minimum, the expected output, which is, as agreed by Opec Plus. Are we going to increase? Are we going to do the necessary things to ensure that we sustain our production in order to meet up with the market demand, so as to increase our revenue to take care of the things? We kept on borrowing. We have resources which we should be able to get in forest, but we kept on borrowing to meet up with our domestic needs, and which is very wrong. We're also struggling with our refinery capacity that we can't meet up with the local consumption as a result of the byproduct that comes with fuel or the jet fuel. So what are we doing to ensure that this new wave that is coming, that as a country we are positioned to benefit immensely from this new wave that is coming? That's a wish, but we don't know if the Minister of Petroleum will function effectively. I know currently the Minister of Petroleum is, I don't know if it's back today, but it's over the weekend. It was at his village in Daura. So if he's going to do something, the Minister of State is going to pursue his gubernatorial ambition. And so we don't know what's going on in that ministry. We don't have a substantive Minister of State yet, since after the resignation that's coming up with the Minister of State. And the minister doesn't seem to be aware of what's going on, because he's already currently being overwhelmed with the presidency, not to talk about becoming the minister under the ministry, the petroleum ministry. So if the country is proactive and has that foresight, with this wave coming in a day before the Opec Plus meeting, then would have been able to say this is the best time to cash in. It's like, when you have a product, in abundance in your warehouse, then suddenly there's a price increase. Then that's a major windfall for you, for the business, because you're going to cash in, like they say in our local parlance. It's like doing Yahoo Plus, right? If you look at those other boys nowadays, the money just comes in, MAGA begins to pay, excuse my French. So that's what we're looking at. But that's just hope. So I don't know how far that will go. I don't know how prepared we are, but we hope that they will be able to do the right thing and put the right infrastructure in place to benefit from this opportunity that is coming in.
Okay, you talked about the fact that Nigeria has not been able to meet up with the Opec quota. Yes, we are doing around 1.6 million barrels per day, but it's not up to the 1.8 million barrels per day of Opec.
I didn't get you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Kevin?
Hello?
Yes, so if you can hear me, so I was asking, yes, I was saying that you talked about our lack of production earlier, or lack of output earlier, that we've not been able to meet OPEC quota, original quota of 1.8 million barrels per day, even though we're doing 1.6 currently. And so let's talk about the issue. Is it the issue, where is the challenge? Is it the issue of productivity or efficiency? Because definitely we're producing, but it's not up to 1.8, OPEC quota as allocated to Nigeria. So should we blame efficiency or should we blame productivity? Where is the challenge coming from?
It's a combination of poor efficiency and poor production strategy put in place. Nigeria has been producing oil for more than 60 years. What is the infrastructure we have on ground to show that we have grown over the years? Saudi Arabia monitors all our oil pipelines in a control center, and it sees when there's a leakage to 0.0% leakage drops, and it's not even possible. They not only just monitor, they are well secured. Now, let me ask you this. If you ask NNPC or the different agencies responsible for our pipeline security.
Hello, Mr. Fineface. I guess there's a bit of the extortion port signal, internet port signal there. Perhaps we'll be able to reconnect back with Kevin Fineface for
so can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, he's back. So let's have you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I said if you look at the situation that we're in now, I said it's a combination of both. Operational failure, poor inefficiency, inefficiency on one hand, and what I would call nepotistic influences that that bedevils our oil production capacity. What it simply means that for more than 60 years we've been into oil production, we don't really have the right infrastructure that is up to date as expected to first monitor our pipelines, secure the pipelines, and ensure production from offshore to to storage is well monitored and properly accounted for. Our oil output accountancy is very poor and bedeviled with a lot of corruption because of nepotism. That's what we're facing. Yeah, okay. Because if you look at our production capacity, the OICs, right? They are not reporting well because we have people in the system who are also collaborating with us to steal what we produce. It's what they present that we present as our oil output. So whatever they sell offshore, see, I'm from Kola. Google it. Kola is one of the oil producers. We produce one of the largest. The oil output that we produce is the largest among the communities in River State. In my community, my kingdom, Kola Kingdom, and there's the Atlantic Ocean, and I can tell you from time to time whenever I travel home, you see the amount of bunkering that goes on within that area, and that's how ship comes to Nigerian waters. That they do transfer from barges to this ship, and their crude is being stolen. In some cases, being aided by the Navy or the Joint Task Force. So when you find this situation going on, you now begin to ask yourself: is it production efficiency or inefficiency? Is it as a result of operation? It's a combination of all of those things. Now we have a petroleum minister. We have no business being petroleum minister. Instead of focusing on being the president of the country, I regretted himself with the power of petroleum minister, who is not doing anything. He doesn't even know what's happening. It took the death of Opec for us to know certain things that has happened within that industry, and that's going on. We saw how they complain about 700,000 barrels being stolen, according to the just
Okay, permit me to just quickly come in here. You talk about these the oil bunkering and all of that ongoing. The part where you come from, you talked about that as well. Sometimes ago, the government talks about.
Why can't we do the same thing? Why is it that all our pipelines are being vandalized easily in either Atlas Cove or other areas? As we speak today, there are pipelines that are being vandalized, that crude oil is being siphoned and being transported through trucks, tankers, locally to barges and other places in the southern region. Not to talk about the one that if Kaduna refinery has been functional, now we have Gombe, Bauchi that is coming up, recently. We don't even know what's going on with the discovery that is taking place there. The media is not reporting to continually follow up what is going on, if there is production going on currently, and what is happening to the production, to what end, where do we have the storage, the tank farm for that production that once it is, once they go on in drilling. We don't even know.
Okay, so
the activities are put in place. How is it piped to the refinery? There's no provision for that.
So some times ago, the government, of course, came up with security measures where a particular individual was given contract to secure some of the pipelines. Do you think?
Government of Petroleum.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So do you think that was out of order, because it looks like that measures it's failing based on your conversation? So are you saying that measures is failing?
No, see, we saw the photo of the moment in order to legitimize the essence of